I usually go to bed at 8 o'clock, but this is a momentous occasion, so I thought I would stay up late and ring it in live. Saturn comes into Aries tomorrow, and that is the beginning of the beginning. We've had the beginning of the end coming in for about the last, well, it's been some years. But with Saturn and Pisces, that really is something that certainly brought us to a tipping point. So as Saturn comes into Aries tomorrow, there is a pressure valve that starts to turn. And some of that built up freneticness, the fear, the confusion, the energy, it starts to find a way out, find a way towards something constructive. Hey, Elle. So we're going to grow up really quickly over the next 2.5 years or so with these dudes in this particular sign. I know I just keep talking about it because it's a big deal. We don't even have this kind of transit. I mean, nobody's really seen this. Nobody has been through this. We don't have anything written down. So it's really something in terms of novelty and paving the way for a collective new life. That doesn't mean that it won't be something that we have to ground. We're going to have to work at it. There's a lot of videos that are saying that, just wait till 2027 and the world will be an Eden. Yeah, that's probably a little bit ambitious with the timing there. Hey, FG. I do not like this time, actually, but it works for a lot of other people, and I'm trying to change my schedule so I stay up later so I can do my meditation videos and the collection of meditation videos and ASMR videos that I'm doing for specific aspects and signs and astrological patterns. Really, the only time I can do those is at night when the girls are asleep. They are such a wild card in terms of noise. You've all experienced it. So I'm trying to change my sleep pattern so I have more opportunities at night to do really focused, quiet work. So you'll probably see me more in the evenings. Even I am growing up. I mean, I've been going to bed at 8 o'clock for years. Saturn in Aries is going to be something that has me staying up probably at least till 9, 10 if I'm extremely ambitious. Oh, interesting comments tonight. Somebody's got this. Yeah, you've got it going through the 8th. I have it going through the 8th as well. Aries is my 8th house. Yeah, Saturn connecting with the moon, EL. That's definitely something to put on the calendar. We don't see that, too often, once every 27 years or so. So, oh, that's right. It is Valentine's Day tomorrow. Happy Valentine's Day. What a wonderful gift. Actually, no, day after tomorrow. Wonderful gift to have Saturn coming into Aries right on that day, where we are going to clear a lot of our own heart space. Because a lot of our anger and our resentment is going to be worked out while that transit is moving through over the next 2.5 years. That's what we do. We act out in Aries. So I have been feeling, I mean, the past 4 days, but yesterday was actually, yeah, maybe the worst day, but just feeling a pressure, 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 pressure. Like the next shoe is going to drop. What's the next step going to be? It has not been comfortable. And it's in tune with what's going on socially and politically around the world, this collective frustration and need for updates and change. Yep, I am Virgo rising. Oh, somebody's got dealing with a breakup or rejection dysphoria. That can suck. Our nervous system really needs weeks to right itself when we're going through something like that, because that can bring up all kinds of childhood triggers related to abandonment and unprocessed attachment issues. I really feel for you. Hang in there. That is a rough, rough place to be. Take some salt baths. Astrology bliss. Moon in the 7th, 25 Pisces. I'm so sorry. And some of the sun in the 2 Aries. Woo! You're getting it on both ends. I would suspect that the Pisces placement at 25 degrees is entirely more difficult than the early Aries placement. Because I mean, it went back and over and back and over, and it just tortured us at the last degrees of Pisces for months last year. So if you've got this hitting stuff in Aries, it's definitely dramatic, but it's at least the time goes faster. Oh, hey, Lolly. Oh, I'm so glad you are done working. That's a late night for you. Oh, but you've been working on your computer stuff. That's true. Hey, Ariana. Extremely excited for your 12th to be empty. I can feel you. Saturn is natally in my first, so I'm not scared of it entering my first. 1 degree Aries rising. Oh my word. You are going to wake up. I have an apprentice with that very early degree Aries rising as well. And that is a call to action for who's got that going on. Really being on the front lines of laying down the new seeds sowing the new seeds for the new age. It is personal to you. Oh, Mrs. Kitsch, I keep doom scrolling. That's what a lot of us are doing. A lot of us can get caught up in that. And our nervous system can tell us to do that because it feels like it's going to keep us safe. Like we need to be up to date. We need to be informed. We need to know what's the next information drop. And we have to find a balance between being aware, being on our toes, and not being always on edge and burning ourselves out so we aren't any good. But I can absolutely relate to that feeling of, or that instance of getting caught in a doom scrolling loop. That is the Pisces business that a lot of us are going to be coming out of at this point and taking action. We're not in that place where we feel helpless. We're coming into action. Oh, FG. Yes, yes, you feeling me. Emotional whiplash. Yes, that's a good way to put it. There is so much going on right now in these past few weeks when this has just been on the precipice of this big change. So much is crashing down around us. The old world is just in free fall, and it will take some time to work that out, but we are getting through some of the dumbest parts. That doesn't mean we won't have more dumb stuff. We are going to see the external environment really start to look like caricature. Those in power, more and more performative, like more desperate, more silly, more like the Muppet Show. Yeah, we're going to change from doom scrolling to looking for more comedy. Oh, thank you, FG. I finally did get the light a little bit right here. I don't really focus on stuff like that, and it definitely impacts my views. EL, big question. My natal 2nd and 8th are intercepted with Libra, the stellium as the cardinal apex. Would the Saturn and Neptune transit bring out the buried planetary energies in the 2nd? I myself don't ascribe to intercepted houses. I don't myself see it as a thing. But if you do, because there's no consensus on that, there's no right or wrong answer. It just really depends on who you ask. If you are an intercepted house person, I would imagine, yes, that that emphasis. I mean, this is a big emphasis going through that house that's somewhat receded, that it would absolutely bring not just focus, but emphasis on that part of life. Wake it up. Yeah, we have a few people with early Aries risings. You guys are definitely going to be stepping onto the path of purpose here coming up very quickly. Another one. Whoa. Ah, 9th house. Aries. Pluto is now exact on your natal moon in Aquarius. That's a lot of purging. That's a lot of letting go and reconfiguring your attachment system. We realize that a lot of our coping mechanisms that we've been enacting in order to experience safety, we've outgrown them. We find them not effective anymore. But that's a hard thing to let go of because those are our go-to problem solvers. And when we realize that, wait, the way I try to solve problems is the problem, that's a huge epiphany with those Moon Pluto things, transits. And I think that's when we really give into the inevitability of those necessary changes, is when we realize that I'm trying to hang on to something that isn't serving me ultimately. And you're going to be growing up on the Pluto side. I'm sorry, the Moon side. I did that for a few years. I had that Moon-Pluto square. When we have Pluto transits to inner planets, we're never the same. They change us so fundamentally that we can't even remember who we are who we were after we've gone through it. We definitely don't want to go back. So it hurts, but we realize that it's necessary. We don't get what we want out of those hard Pluto transits to the Moon or to Venus, but we do get what we need. Yeah, the Pisces Virgo eclipse stuff. I've also had my film of that. I can relate to that, FG. Yes, EL. The last Neptune-Saturn conjunction did happen in 1989. Yes, Soviet Union, Berlin Wall. It erodes on infirm structures and infirm alliances. And what is no longer, it's not strong. It's not, it doesn't have integrity in it anymore. So that's why we're going to see far more like caricaturish performance, because that's what you see in systems that are being propped up. They are facades. And when you lose collective agreement, you lose collective faith in governance, you end up with hollowed out, well, it's actually that comes as a result of increasingly hollowed out institutions and agreements. And it just gets dumber and dumber and more ridiculous until it just becomes so obviously farce that things collapse. I know, Ariana. There's a ton of Aries risings in here. It's mostly Placidus, but using whole sign lately. Yeah, there's no one correct system. It just depends on what you're measuring and what it is that you believe in terms of what's most effective. Hey, Alfred. More Aries people. Wow. Lost age. What about transit Pluto trine moon? Much easier. Much easier than the hard aspects. That trine is like a welcome emotional dump. We don't welcome it with the hard aspects. It's painful. It is something that really feels like it's happening against our will. But with the trine, we have amazing wisdom, always with trines. We can see farther. We have excellent perspective. So those changes, because it's Pluto, yeah, there will still be things that you're working through, but it's not the curled up in the fetal position on the bathroom floor screaming for your mother business, like with the hard aspects. Aura sky, Capricorn midheaven. Oh God, I'm so sorry. Pluto and Capricorn was brutal. I'm sure it was. I am sure it was. I'm sure that was humiliating. But we get good stuff out of it afterwards, right? Sorry. We usually get fired during that particular transit. Aura sky, looking forward to the eclipse in Aquarius. That's coming up on the 17th. That is really quite the eclipse. So much weight coming with that, so much objectivity, so much enlightenment that is on deck. Mrs. Kish, idiocracy or kakistocracy. Yeah. Pick your name. Aura sky. Yeah, eclipses. Actually, I can see that too. Eclipses do lead to tower moments. And sometimes they're good tower moments. They're where the bricks fall and it allows something, that we really wanted to be able to come in. Yeah, we have a lot of forward energy, Mrs. Kitch. Absolutely. EL. So the Aries transit sextile the air signs. How does that affect the collective? Well, it's business with Uranus, first of all, is excellent. Looking at things on a mass scale. But those sextiles means that we have faster incoming updates and changes, and collective new agreements coming on, new social contracts, and really figuring out, what do we want to be as a country? Most countries are thinking that. Most countries are realigning and reconfiguring. It's not just the United States that is in a rupture. I have Capricorn moon in the 7th and Pisces sun in the 10th. So they're sextile. How could this be affected by Saturn's transit? The Pisces sun, probably not a bunch. Capricorn moon in the 7th. So you're going to have some square energy here. So there's going to be a lesson with the planets in Capricorn. The sun in Pisces just recently had a lesson because it was either very recently or sort of recently had the conjunction of Saturn and Neptune. So it's less of a thing than the whatever planets you have in Capricorn getting a straightening out, but it won't be that painful. When we get a straightening out with Saturn and when it's connected to Neptune, we look at what's worth believing in and what's worth being loyal to. Hey, CDN. You can find me at my website if you are interested. I look forward to meeting you. What are my feelings toward Lilith conjunct Saturn in synastry? Well, Lilith is a hot little number, and Saturn is not. But it's a conjunction, so they're in agreement. They're in the same style. They have the same motivation. No. The motivation, no, they have the same way. So Saturn is actually a very good mate. And the sign is going to make a difference. The more flexible the sign is that Saturn is in, the more of a comfortable association that will be. Oh, Cancer. Okay. Saturn and Cancer conjunct to Lilith. That is not a terribly aggressive combo. I mean, you could do a lot worse. That is likely going to lead to the Saturn person being in agreement with the Lilith person, establishing themselves and, feeling like they have a right to be on top. They have a right to equality. Lilith is where we, in a woman's chart, where we take pleasure and we don't apologize for that. And with Saturn being pro-female, feelings in Cancer, it's more likely that the Saturn person will not feel offended or, there's a word, overwhelmed, threatened by the Lilith person. It could lead to quite a bond. And I could see that the Saturn person could actually find the Lilith person to be a source of safety, because that's a badass. And Saturn is struggling a bit in Cancer. What would North Node in Aquarius and North Node in Leo have to experience with the Pluto conjunction transit? So opposite to the North Node in Leo. That's outgoing power and letting go of dictatorial perspectives in Aquarius, South Node in Aquarius, North Node in Aquarius. The path of purpose, the Dharma, that's the North Node. When it comes to the North Node in Aquarius, we have a social obligation. We have things that we need to interact with or build that are outside of our private introverted space. And so a lot of people are going to feel like they are being called to social or community causes. It's something that has some kind of, well, that's what it is. It's a call to make a difference. FG, Chiron and Aries are conjunct my natal Venus in Aries. Heavy and healing. Aries, she moves darn slow. Oh, you mean a natal. Natal, not in transit. So Chiron, Aries, and Venus. That's spicy. That is very spicy. Chiron is going to bring some, humanity, compassion, sweetness. Aries brings a love of a partner that has a mind of her own. So with Venus and Aries, I'm sure that that's never happened to you, FG. I'm sure that you only pick the most willing, boring available lilies in the field with that one. Right. You like them boring. What's my sign? My sun is in Leo. My moon is in Libra. My ascendant is in Virgo. Mars is in Virgo. Mercury is in Virgo, right? Directly on the Virgo ascendant. Venus is in the 12th house along with the sun in Leo. Jupiter in Pisces. Neptune in Sagittarius. North Node in Sagittarius. Yeah, FG, I'm sure you do. That's quite the placement. When is the best time to get a haircut? That's a fun question. It's eclipse in the 6th house, excellent for grooming. Perfect. We want to have good Venus aspects when we're doing things that are about aesthetics. So we don't want a hard aspect from, say, Venus to Saturn or Venus to Uranus. Venus to Saturn, we're probably gonna feel like we aren't getting exactly what we want, or take more than they should. Venus to Uranus hard aspects, we don't know what's going to happen. They are by nature unpredictable, and you could end up with something, like a bowl cut, go in there asking for a perm. So they are not that's not the most consequential question because, typically it's not going to be a permanent, typically, not going to be a permanent mistake. But look for good Venus transits to the ascendant, to the sun, and to Venus. And if you just have one of those, that's good enough. If you have two, excellent. You got all three, definitely make an appointment. Yes, Nicolette, we are Virgo ascendant twins. We both can shove a piece of coal up our butt and a month later come up with a diamond. EL, when it comes to the semisextile aspect, does the orb have to be exact or 2 degrees? Are wider orbs not to be considered? It does have to be close with a semisextile, but you can do up to 2 degrees. Yeah. But usually 1.5. You are welcome, Nicolette, for my inappropriate comment. I love you guys. All right, so let's wrap up. I will absolutely be checking in with you tomorrow because it is the first day of the rest of our lives. Saturn officially in Aries. And then we have, till the 20th, and we have the conjunction of Saturn and Neptune exactly. So this is when it all comes crashing down, and it's been a long time coming. Let's bring the best of the old world into the new world and leave the crap behind. Because there's a lot of good things that we can build on, We've had a lot of good ideas. And we have ingenuity coming in. We have invention coming in. We have different ways of seeing and interpreting the world, thinking, feeling coming in. So it's going to be when we look back on this time, we will remember this as a great awakening. And I know it feels like a great hellening, like we've all been thrown into hell, but with all endings, there does come a beginning. And it will take a little while to ground that. But this is a time where the blinders are collectively coming off. And we are coming out of some very childish and ignorant and trauma-based assessments of the world and reality. And ultimately, even though it hurts to let things go, it's in our best interest, and we can have faith in that. We can have faith in the cycles. Yes, EL. What shall remain will remain. Yes, everything else will dissolve, burn, crumble for what's new. Neptune stuff. Lucas, you're an Aries sun, moon, Mercury, Virgo rising, all Aries in your 8th house. Should you be wary of Saturn in Aries? No, it sounds like for you it's going to be a bigger deal because it's going to pass all those personal planets in the context of the 8th house. So that is going to be something that has you dealing with your death anxiety, moon, attachment patterns, Mercury. It will reconfigure your thinking. And the sun, you're going to have an identity crisis. You're welcome. It'll be good, though. At least it's not Pluto. It is going to be something that has you smartening up and making some much better choices. Not to say that you're making bad choices, but we can always make better choices, more informed choices. So, Thanks for the hearts, guys. I really appreciate you. Oh, hell kiss. I have to address this because this is serious. The Saturn-Neptune conjunction will be on your Mars. Ouch. You need to get rest. You need to get rest. You need to make sure that you don't push it, you don't tax yourself, you don't overdo it. You will be called to do some hard things, but you need to make sure that you reserve your energy. You take yourself out of the game, because that is something that can lead to anemia. Conditions where we aren't as robust as we usually are. So make sure that you're physically taking care of yourself during that time. Oh, thank you, FG. I really appreciate you thinking of me. Thank you, Dominic. Oh, Lucas, you're going to a nursing program. How wonderful. It's an excellent career. Yeah, the opposition. I had that one a few years ago. I don't recommend it if you can avoid it, but you won't be able to. It'll come to town. And same thing as for what I just said. Take care of yourself. Make sure that you're not pushing yourself. You're not asking too much of yourself, because we can end up weaker than we should be if we feel like we should be doing as much as we're always doing. You have to look at it like you have a little bit of a cold for a little while, and you wouldn't expect yourself to be at 100% in that situation. So make sure you're taking care of yourself. And last stage, Pluto will conjunct your Sun, Neptune, South Node at the same time. Wow. Thank you, Lucas. So you are also going to have a identity crisis. The Neptune in the South Node won't be as much of a big deal when it, yeah, that's going to be outgoing things related to self-abandonment, not putting yourself first, misplaced compassion. It will be the Sun stuff that remakes you. And you're going to unzip your clown suit and step out, and it's going to be the authentic you. All right, guys, that's what I've got. I will check in with you tomorrow for the most momentous day that maybe we will ever have in all of our lives in terms of transits. And I really appreciate you guys. You have a great night.